In today's video, we're going to learn how to create new documents using Adobe Photoshop. We will also learn how to navigate through the new dialog box. Now there are two ways of creating new documents in Photoshop. One being File New, or to save some time, we can hit Command N. Now if you're using a PC, it would just be Control N. You'll notice that the dialog box looks slightly different than Illustrator's. The first option here is your file name. Now it's a good habit to get into to name your files right away as opposed to waiting. If you wait and let's say you save out without realizing, you'll end up with a whole bunch of documents named Untitled 1, Untitled 2. So I'm going to name this print document because that's the first document I want to create for today. Underneath my name, you'll see something called presets. Now presets are created by Photoshop. They are set up for you. They have standard sizes that are used for different methods. If you'll notice, US paper, international paper, and photo, these top three are high resolution options because anything that's going to be printed is high resolution. The bottom three, web, mobile devices, and film and video, are lower resolution because they remain on screen, so they don't need a high resolution. So I'm going to click US paper. Now when I hit US paper, I have an option underneath that says size and offers me even more presets. Now legal is 8.5 by 14, tabloid is 11 by 17, and letter is just your standard paper size. When you use loose leaf, that's 11 by 7, 8.5 by 11. If you notice, it has the width and height already set up for me because it's a preset, and it's also in the correct units, inches. Most of the time we will use inches in class unless we are working on a web document. Now underneath the size, width and height, is the resolution, which is the most important part of making a new document. Now if you use a preset, you notice that it automatically put it to 300. Anything I'm printing should be 250 and up as far as the size of the resolution. Resolutions are measured by pixels per inch, so you'll often see someone write 300 ppi or dpi. dpi just means dots per inch. Dots per inch and pixels per inch are interchangeable. They mean the same thing. Underneath it is your color mode. You can swap through different types. Because we're mostly working on screen, we're going to just keep this as RGB unless I note it otherwise. And we're going to keep it as 8-bit. When we learn a little bit more about file extensions and colors, you'll know what those different variations mean. Now, unlike Illustrator, Photoshop can have different options for a background. You can have it set to white, you can choose a background color, or you can set it to transparent, which we'll work with in the future. For today, we're just going to keep it as white, and we don't need to worry about these advanced options for now. So I'm going to click that little arrow. Once I press OK, I'll have a new document set up for me that looks like a regular sheet of paper. Now for your second document, we're going to learn how to make a web document, which differs from a print document in its resolution and the units of measurements we use. So I'm going to, once again, make a new document and hit Command N. And this time I'm still going to name it. I'm going to name it Web Document. Now for my preset, I'm going to focus on web. And for the size, I'm going to leave it at 1024 by 768. Now if you notice, it's set to pixels, which is appropriate because we're working with web now. You'll also notice that it's set to a resolution of 72, which is very small compared to the print document, which had a resolution of 300. Now off the web, you don't need a high resolution. In fact, most of the documents you take off the internet will have a resolution of 72. The color mode is correct at RGB, and we're going to leave our background contents as white and press OK. Now for this document, we're going to place an image on our canvas. Now in Illustrator, this area was called your artboard, but in Photoshop, the terminology is canvas. So in order to do that, I'm going to go up to File, hit Place. Now you should have downloaded the image called Fall Photo. I'm going to select it and hit the words Place here. Now this document should be the appropriate size, but even though I may think I've placed something, technically I haven't. And the way I know I haven't is that it's still this gray box around the image. Once I've moved the photo to the location I want on my canvas, I have to make sure I hit enter. Once I hit enter, you notice that gray box disappears and now the photo is in place. You're going to follow the rest of the directions on the printed handout to add type to this image and to add type to this image. One will be for print and the other will be for web.